HI. HIS.
Histogram?
Yes. What else? Okay, so let's go through this together. Displaying data graphically. The objectives here: understanding the importance of visualizing data graphically. Identify the graph axis, x-axis and y-axis, and their use and meaning. Read and interpret and create different types of statistical graphs, like points, line, bar chart, pie chart, or circle graph, histogram, pie chart. Why we repeat the pie chart twice? Okay, and what else? Box plots, dot plots, Pareto chart, Scatterplot, and Ogiven. The objectives here: gain hands-on experience with guided practice and exercise. So as usual, we have what you call this vocabulary. You have to look in the internet for those meanings. Okay. Why do we present data graphically? Why? Yes.
It's easy to look at and understand.
Yes. Presenting the data in a visualized way makes complex data easier. Wow. Just exactly what he said, to understand. Highlights the trends, patterns, and relationship. Support better decision making and communication. That's the reason why we present the data graphically. Once we have collected data, then we need to start analyzing the data. One way to display and summarize data is to use statistical graphing software techniques. The type of graphs we use depends on the type of data collected. In general, there are 7 graphs commonly used in statistics: Pareto graph, bar graph, pie chart, circle graph, histogram, line chart, stem and leaf plot, dot plot, scatter plot. And lastly is time series graphs. The qualitative data use graphs like bar graph, pie charts. The quantitative data uses what? Uses histogram and frequency polygons. Okay? So remember, that each type takes its own type of graph. To create a graph, we must first organize. So you have to do what first thing? Organize, and then create a summary of individual data in the form of frequency distribution. Okay? Up to you, is clear? A frequency distribution is a listing of all of the data values and how often those data values occur. So I made this nice flow chart. So on the left side, categorical data, and you can make summary of the data. They call it tabulating data. And then you can use bar chart, pie chart, and Pareto chart. Now for the numerical data, which is quantitative, we can use stem and leaf. We can use histogram, polygon, Ogive, and dot plot and box plot. So I think this graph is nice, if you can memorize it. All right, so we're going to start with the first one. What's the first type of graph we're going to look? Histogram. Histogram. That's what type of data we're going to use. Histogram. Quantitative. What's mean another name for quantitative? Numerical. Okay. In histogram, for quantitative, there are no gaps. The bars is attached to each other. Okay. So let's take a scenario. A teacher records test score of how many students? 20 students. So what are the scores? Hussein, what are the scores?
50, 55, 60, 21,
You'll read all of them.
62, 65, 70, 75. All of them?
Yeah, how many total? 20.
20.
So the first step is to group the data into what? Interval. You group them into what? Interval. Like between, let's say, for example, 50 to 69. And then the next number is going to be what? 70 to 89. That's how far? By how much is going? 19. Right? 19, 19, 19. So the smallest number start with what? 50. And what's the highest number?
199.
Very good. So what's the smallest number here? 50. That's good. And what's the highest number here? 125. Why he didn't stop at 125? Because you have to go 19 each. So between 50 and 69, how many numbers? Up to here. How many numbers? 5. From 70 to 89, how many numbers? 5. From 90 to 109, how many numbers? 6. And from 110 to 129, how many numbers? 4. Is this clear?
Yes.
And so you need to summarize data like this. After you summarize the data, what do you do? Do what? You graph. So that's how you graph it. Starting from 0, and then after that, it's going to be what? 50? 50 to 69. But remember, the width has to be the same. Clear? Clear or not clear? And this is the frequency. This is frequency. The y-axis is the frequencies. And the x-axis, that's the score. Okay? Clear or not clear?
Clear.
So we are done with histogram. Do you know how to do histogram now?
Yes.
Right, so I'm testing you. I will test you. The next type of graph is what? Box plot. Okay? It's a little bit changed. I don't know. Did you take this in high school, or do you have an idea about it? It's like a box, right? You see the box? And here on the left side is the minimum number. And on the right side is the maximum number. And in the middle here is the median. Means the middle number. Okay? And this is called lower quartile. And this is called upper quartile. And everything inside here is called interquartile. Can you remember that? Yes? You have to remember that. All right, so let's take a look at the minimum. Of course, you know what's the minimum, right? The smallest data point. And the first quartile is the median of the lower half of the data, which is what? 25%. Is this clear? That's called first quartile. What about the median? Who can tell me what's the median? Yeah, 50%, which is the middle number. Clear, mister? If you understand, raise your hand. Okay, if you don't understand, raise your hand. All right. Third quartile is what? What is the third quartile? Is 75%, right? Between what and what? No, not between minimum and maximum. Between the median and what? And the maximum. Okay? What's the maximum? The largest number, right? The largest data point. So how can we do box plot? Sort the data, first point. Second, find 5 number summary, minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, maximum. Calculate the interquartile range. to determine what the outliers. What's mean outliers? Number that are outside the range. Draw the box, quartile 1 to quartile 3, add the whiskers, lower minimum and maximum. Mark the outlier as individual A points. Let's take an example. Hussein, read. What are the numbers here?
12, 13, 14, 10, 18, 20, 22, 17, 25, 16.
What's your name? Abaziz. What should I do first step, Abaziz? Sort the data, put the data in order. Do you see the order now? Read the order. Read.
10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25.
Exactly. So how can I get the median? What is the median here? How many numbers do we have? 10 numbers. So which one is the median?
16 plus 16.
Oh, it's not 16, right? 16 in the middle?
17.
No, 16 is not in the middle. It's 16 and 17, they are in the middle. So you have to add both of them and divide by 2. So when you add both of them and divide by 2, what do you get? So the number is going to be in the middle here. That's your A quartile, lower quartile 2, lower median. Okay? Now, how can I get quartile 1? Yeah, below the 16.5. Right? So I'm going to take, how many numbers I'm going to take? How many numbers now, Kida? Like this? This 5. And how many numbers here? Okay, so this first 5, what is the middle number? Khalas, that's it. Is this clear? Now let's go for here. How many numbers here? 5. What is the middle number here? That's it. Easy? You understand? So we get the quartile 3, we get quartile 1, and we get quartile 2. Any questions?
What's the fourth quartile?
Minimum. What's the minimum? What's the minimum? Oh, that's it. So we get all the numbers? What are all the numbers? Who can tell me all the numbers? Who can tell me all the numbers?
10, 14, 16.5, 20.5.
That's it. We got quartile 1, we got quartile 2, we got quartile 3, we got quartile 4. What's quartile 2? 14. What's quartile 3? What's quartile? What? We said 5, right? The last one is what? 25. Easy as easy? If you understand, raise your hand. Simple and easy, right? That's it. So, can you graph it? Can you graph this? Yellow, try to graph it on the paper. Graph it on the paper. On a blank paper. You don't have your notebook. Write it on, graph it in the notebook. Yalla, mister. You know or you don't know? I don't think that you know. Up here? So can I graph it with you? Can you help me graphic? Can you help me graphic? Okay. So I'm going to make a line here. Okay? Get a line here. Make line here. What is this? Min. What is this? Max. What is in the middle? Mean. What's in here? Second column. What is this called? Q1. And what is this called? Q3. And what is this called? Q4. And what is this called? That's it. So how much is the min? 10. 10. Good. How much is the median? 16.1. How much is the max? 25. 21? 25. What's quartile 2? 14. What's quartile 20? 20. And then you make this box. Finish? Easy? Piece of cake, right? Tell go. Tell go. Sure. Because when it comes to this, and then I go, oh, no, I'm done. So remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easy? Yes. Yeah, do it. Done. Done. Very good. Now I need to find how to get the outlier. Okay, let's see how can I get the outlier. Okay, there are 5 steps we have to follow. Calculate inter-quartile range first. So inter-quartile range, which is called IQR, it's take away quartile 1 from quartile 3. So subtract what? 14 from 20. Now remember this formula. Okay? So you get the interquartile change range. Okay? The next step, step 4. I need to find the lower boundary. How can I get the lower boundary? Quartile 1 minus 1.5 times interquartile change range. Okay? So what's quartile 1? Quartile 1 is 14. Well, quartile 2. How come I put here? Yeah, I made a mistake over there on the board. Let me.
3 here, the 14.
I don't know. Can I change this here like this and make this different numbers? Okay. So quartile 1 is what he said. What here? 14. So quartile 1 here, quartile 2, quartile 3. Okay.
That's just the max and the...
Yeah. Because before I was doing like quartile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Yes.
It's much easier like this, right? But in order for you to follow the rules, which is getting the lower boundary, what do we have to do? We have to take quartile 1, right? Minus
3.
1 minus what?
1.5 times the
It's 1.5 times interquartile range. Did we get interquartile range?
Yes.
Yes.
How can you get interquartile range?
Q3 minus Q1.
Q3 minus Q1.
Q3 minus
Q1.
Q1. Q3 minus Q1. How much is Q3? 20. How much is Q1? 14. So the interquartile change equal what? 6. So you put here 6. 6 times 1.5
9.
minus quartile 1. How much is quartile 1? 14. So what's your answer?
29.
How much?
All of it is 29.
Okay,
20. How much?
So we 14 minus 9.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 5. How much is the minimum?
10.
So 5 is here, right? So this 10 is okay. Means it's within the data range. But if you have minimum 4, then what happens? This become what? Outlier. Okay. Now that's the lower. Now we need to get the upper. How can I get the upper?
Same thing, modulus.
Upper boundary will be what?
Q3 plus 1.5 times.
Q3 minus 1 point, plus 1.5 times
Right.
interquartile change. Interquartile range. How much is the interquartile range? 6. 6 times 1.5 plus quartile 3. How much quartile 3? 20. Can you tell me how much this?
29.
29. So where is 29? Over here. If this number is 30,
Outside
that will be outlier. But since 25 is less than 29, then you don't have outlier. Outlier يعني رقم شاذ. لازم تعمل فيه حاجة، يا إما تلغيه يا إما تظبطه. Is this clear?
clear.
So he said there is no outlier since all data points lie within 5 and 29. Okay? Do we have time or we finish? Finish. But it was nice, right?
Yes.
Did I save the file for you? Did I put the file on